Hello there. In this video, we're gonna walk through my thinking process on how to build a website from the design and the layout to the way of content creation, how to build automation and workflows, and go through some functionalities which help you have a fully functional website. And just to be clear, in this video, we're not gonna be building an actual website. It's up to you to choose how to build a website. We're just gonna go to the thinking process on step by step on how to build it. So let's get started. As you can see here, there is main elements that help you think through website. When we say we're going to build a website, we're going to have to know the core elements of the websites. We're going to have to know the design and the layout of the website and think through how we're going to make the design, how we're going to lay out the pages, and how we're going to structure the website overall. Like what kind of pages we're going to have, what kind of sections we're going to have, what kind of features we're going to have, and functionalities to help you have a fully functional website that really present your brand or your company in a professional way. Also, we're going to go through some process optimization to help you get your SEO and metadata being up to the rank so your website is searchable and visible on Google. First thing first, the main core elements of the websites are the type of the website. What I mean here is what kind of websites you're building. There's different types of websites, whether it's an online shop website, whether it is a static website or portfolio website. We have to know what type of a website we're building. And we're going to have to go through have a name of the website, which is what is the domain name or the URL of the website. So we're going to think through. And what is the website builder, which is actual builder platform of the website. So the platform or system that is building the websites, the plug and play, drag and drop, or you're gonna build a website from scratch, and where this website's gonna be built when it comes to the website hosting. Because you can build your website on your own computer, but actually you have to host it online on a server. So when it comes to the website types, there is mainly three different types of website. There is static website, which is a website that is stable, which means as a personal website or business portfolio. And what I mean by stable is that the website doesn't actually have moving content. You put your bio, you put your personal information, you put your business portfolio, and the website stay there. There's no changes on the website, there's no much interaction with the website. However, there is a different type of websites which called dynamic websites. Websites like e-commerce or websites for online stores. These kind of websites has a interaction with the websites. They have different products that may come in with the time. They have user interacting with them to do purchases, or websites like event listing. There's regular events that's come in, like today you post event, tomorrow you have to take it down, the day afterward a new event come in. Or like a news website, there is a daily news, there is a weekly news, there is some shows that you put there. So these type of dynamic websites, you approach them in a slightly different way to work with them as they are interactive. And there is some of the websites known as hybrid sites, which is a combination of both. So these are like educational websites where you build the websites about your company, and there is some information that are static there, like your business portfolio, your information about your business, your funnel pages. However, the education section is a little bit hybrid because people still interact with it. There's more courses would come after 3 months, after 6 months, after a year, and there's going to be a community platform. So maybe you would have one group for a community and you have another group later on for a different community. So first thing first, you have to identify the type of the website that you're building. Let's say you're building a personal website. You're going to have to find a domain name for the website. And the domain name, mainly the URL of the website, or actually the name of the website. So that would be something like www.example.com or like samir.com. This would be the name of the website or the URL of the website where people can reach out to you by this website or can read out the information that you're sharing through this domain name. Now, once you identify the name of the website, you're going to have to go through the builder of the website. And what I mean with the builder is the platform that's going to build the website. Now, there is a different type of builders, and there's different websites that provide a builders to help you do the website, whether you're coding it all from scratch using HTML, JavaScript, and C++, or you're using a pre-built platform serve as a builder, something like Go High Level or something like Wix or System.io. These are names of platforms or websites that has built-in builder, which is provide you the space to build your website. Usually they're drag and drop block building, or they have a ready format templates or sections that you can use and modify and able to build your website. Now, as you start building the website, this website has a space to live in it, which is the hosting server. And the hosting mean where the website's gonna live. Now, there is different hosting online platforms that allow you to do this, like GoDaddy or Namecheap or HostGator. And the main use of this in the hosting is to make your website available to public. And a few consideration have to think through when it comes to the hosting is the load of the website. So how many people are visiting the website and the amount of data that is living on the website. And this is will affect the hosting plan that you're gonna choose, as you have to identify the bandwidth and the storage of the hosting server. When it comes to the design and the layout, there's a few things that you have to think through as you visually start thinking through the website. First of all, you don't have to start from scratch. I would encourage you to look to some websites and inspirations to help you through your visual process. We're visual humans, we tend to look into things visually. So before thinking about anything related to your website, please look for inspirations to the website. And as you find inspirations, you're gonna have to look in the market there, like some similar websites that you like before, or some websites you have an idea how you want your website to look like you visit a website before and you liked a visual layout on this website, or you liked some sort of layout of sections and rows in this website that really you like it to be displayed on your website. So you don't have to take it exactly as it is, but just help you to think through it. And as you're looking to inspiration and you start finding the visuals of your websites, some sort of theme or style, you're going to start looking for some text inspiration. And this text would help you to identify the tone of message, how the messages on your website gonna look like. And remember, the speaker is not actually listening to your pitch, so they're actually reading through your website. So try to have some sort of excitement or word tone on the way you're writing the text on the website. Don't be too salesy, but also don't be too cheesy and boring on the website itself. I encourage you to have an exciting tone or something that emotionally touching for the person that is reading through your website. Also, as you look to inspiration, try to look to the user experience and you look to how things are laid out and how you move from one page to another. Whether there's a loading page, for example, or there is like some sort of animation, some sort of effects, some sort of experience that you are interacting with the website. How things are laid out, how things are being exposed to the user, whether there is a pop-ups, whether there is like interactive sections or animation that go one after the other. These are the things that help you make the best user experience as you're taking your lead on a journey through your website. And the last thing that I would look at as we're doing inspirations is the functionalities and features. So think through the functionalities as you're looking for inspiration, whether this website that you're building has a membership portal or have to have a chat widget, this chat pop-up to reach out to you through the web portal, or on-screen pop-ups or on-screen animations. The second thing, as you're looking for the design and the layout to look through your website, is identify the sections that you like on each website. So you go to website online, you look to some inspirations, you like some sections of websites, and you want to grab these sections, like grab these uh, sections or parts of the other people website that you like. And I encourage you to screenshot these sections and save them. Whether you can save them on your own computer or save them and paste them on a Miro board like the one that I'm using here. And why Miro board? Because in Miro board you can paste screenshots next to each other and you can move them around because they're not going to be all from a single website. You may screenshot a navigator from one site and another section from a different website. But once you put them next to each other, you would have some sort of visual layout to help you look through these inspirations and just lay them out as you see them on other people's website, step by step, as you building your own website based on other people information. You can start your website by building a wireframe. And what I mean by wireframe, like the skeleton of the website. You can do this by using AI like 10web or Gamma AI app. And these two platforms mainly help build your website for you. It wouldn't be exactly as this platform been done, but you can use them to grab some content, help you get even more inspiration and ideas, help you get the layout that is related to your topic. Because using these platforms, you simply can type, help me write a or help me create a website for my business. My business is about X, Y, and Z. And the AI can generate a whole website with different pages and layouts to help you create a website that is aligned with your idea. Now, once you do this, you're gonna have to get an idea about the missing elements that you have, because obviously you may or may not have all the sections of your website ready or all the content of your websites ready. So you're gonna start to identify the missing elements. And what I mean by missing elements is any images that you may need. Like you saw an image on another website, oh, I like this, I need a similar image for my website to have. So this is a missing element. Like I need an image for the hero section, or I need an image for my profile picture. And also try to identify the image's style. Try to have all the images following a certain set of style or certain set of color or theme to be able to have the flow within your website. The second thing you would identify as you start grabbing these informations from different websites and collecting your inspiration elements is the missing content for each section. And by content, I mean like the text that is missing. Like maybe you have a bio or you need to have an about section that you don't have it pre-prepared for your website. So these are content that you need to go and work on separate before you actually start building your website. And as you go, you're going to notice that there is some functionalities that you're going to have to integrate within your website. Things like payment gateway or having a booking link. If we're talking about a personal website, you need people to be able to reach you through your booking link, that through your website, or having a payment gateway for people to be able to buy your service or product. So these are some of the functionalities that need to be prepared upfront, and any other text that you may need to write for sections. So, like description text or inspirational text. And this way, you would end up with a set of content that, based on inspiration on other people's website and some research you did, to create the content that you need to create the skeleton and the layout of your website on the design. Now, when it comes to branding, the branding elements you need are elements that are uniquely related to your business. And when we talk branding, we're talking about the logos, the fonts, and the color of your business. These are things that are uniquely for you and for your business. So you're going to have to be working on with a graphic designer, or you can create them yourself. When it comes to the logo mainly you need four different versions of it. You need the color version of the logo, which is present to your brand and your company. You need the black and white version of your logo, and this is usually you're going to use it on the backgrounds where you can't use the color one. You need the icon of the logo, the icon only, or the shape of the logo, and that's going to be used for the favicon, which is the icon that goes on the tab of your browser when you viewing the website. And you need to have the icon and the business name. These are the four versions that you need out of your logo and able to build the website. You don't have necessarily to use all of them, but it's good to have them upfront. When it comes to the fonts, you can notice that the website has a set of fonts. Each brand usually has two sets of fonts, which means primary font and secondary fonts. And the primary font used for the headings, so things like titles, paragraphs, subtitles, or section headers. That would be like the big sections on your website. And there's going to be the secondary font, which is usually the body font. And that would be used for the main text and for the body text, like sections, paragraphs, the long text, and text in between descriptions and things like that. So you would have the primary font, the secondary font, and you would have your colors, which is again you have a primary color, which is have the main theme of your color, and you have the secondary colors to use. And for these two colors, I encourage you to use something called cooler.co or colorhunt.co. These are two platforms help you to create a color palette and give you a visual representation of your own color. You can choose colors for your own website to build your own brand. For the fonts as well, you can use Google Fonts, or you can use something called Da font, and that would be a free platform that provide you with fonts you can use on your website, and you can install them to create the font and design of your websites. However, here a very important note to take in consideration, to make sure you choose a font that apply with the GDPR regulations, because sometimes if you used a script font or used a font that has a squiggles or handwritings, this font doesn't apply with the GDPR regulation, so it wouldn't display the same on all screens. The font would change from one screen to another and would create some problems as your website is not approved by Google or approved by the GDPR regulations. We went through the main core elements of the website, where we get to identify the type of the website that we're building, the name of the website that we're going to be building, and the website builder or the platform that we're going to use to put the website together. Also, we define the hosting website, and this is the service where the website's going to be living for the public process or publication of the website. Also, we went through some of the design and the layout of the website. The design where we get to explore through some inspirational websites that already exist out there. We get to identify some sections of the websites for the pages that we are building that we like and we want to build something similar to. We got to put together the wireframe of the website where we capture these sections or inspirations and pictures that we got to look at and put them together in one place. And also get to identify some of the missing elements that we need, whether we need a missing bio or missing text or image to do our website. Also, we went through some branding process to have a basic branding or to collect our brand elements, the logo of the business, the fonts that we're going to be using to the website, the main font and the secondary font, and the colors of the website. Now, when it comes to structure, we're going to go through the content structure, the actual content of the website, and the pages structure. And what I mean by that, when we look at the content structure, we create the actual content of the website. Some of the content we already start to collect from the inspiration that we got, while other we used AI like 10Web or Gamma AI to create the missing text or images that we need. Also, we need to have these content, some of these contents going to be generated and put together. Now, as we collect this content, there's going to be plenty of the text on the website. So I encourage you to copy paste this content into a Google document to put them in one place. Also, if you're using AI or ChatGPT or any other AI tools, some text you're going to like, some text you're not going to like, some text you want to get and edit. So it would be a great practice to collect these content and put them all in one place. So you end up with a clean space that has the first draft of your website. Now, also, when we get to structure, we're going to have to build the page structures. And that's where most of the work is going to be. The page structure, where I'm talking about, which, as you know, each website is going to be breakdown into pages and sections. There's going to be the home page, which is the main page you land on, and there's going to be some other pages within this. Also, these pages are mostly known as the basic pages of each website, as the home page, the about page, the product or service page, the contact us page. There's also some websites has other pages and some blog pages. These are optionals and it varies from one website to another. But for sure, each page has a home page, about page, and product or service page, and about us page, and contact us page. And these pages, as you can see, they are mainly divided into a sections. So sections means part of the pages. So for example, the home page can have this navigator on the top or the header of the page. That's where you would see like the page names, you would see the logo, you would see the login section. These are the main navigator or the first ever section you see on the top of the website. After that, you would see the hero section. And the hero section usually this main section that you land on once your website load. That could be an image, that could be a slideshow, sometimes it is a video. It is the main section of the website or the most important element of the website, as it's known as the hero section. After this, these sections may vary. So some websites they would have short description, a call to action, or service or product overview. That would vary depend on the website type that you're building. And that's why it is important to define the type of the website at the beginning, as these section 1, section 2, and section 3 would vary from one website to another, mostly based on its type. So in the first section, usually websites have a short description of something. Like if it is personal website, would be a short description about you, who you are, what you do, and a call to action to work with you or to learn more about you, who you are. Or in, like, for example, dynamic websites or online store websites, usually you start listing your service or your product. Section 2, in most of the websites, usually it is a testimony or additional description section. Section 3, usually it is a feature item or a feature product or a highlight of a service or product you're delivering. And usually would be a featured image, short text, and call to action. These are the main sections of the homepage, and these are page-based section. Now, when it comes to the footer, usually the footer and the navigator known as global section. And what I mean by global sections means there are sections that are the same on all pages. All the pages on your website has the same navigator bottom where you can move from one page to another, and usually all of them has the same footer. And in the footer, usually people put their social media links, your Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, your copyright, because you're having the copyrights of your content on your website. And some websites has the privacy policy and the terms and condition of how to interact with the website. Also, you can see on some other websites there is a sign up form for the newsletter, and this may vary from one website to another. Now, after you build the home page, the second page that you're going to be building is the about page. And that's mainly the page where tell me who you are as a business or as a person, what is your story or what is your journey to get to know you better and establish this trust why I would work with you, and share some achievements and numbers or accomplishments about a previous project you have built or worked on in the past. Mainly the about page is to showcase your skills, your business, your portfolio, and a little bit personal work that you have previously accomplished. After you build these two pages, now it comes to building your product page or your service page, and they're pretty much similar in the way you approach them. Most of the platforms builders, they give you a certain template to build on that is mostly customized with all its elements. However, all these templates has to have a certain set of elements you need to prepare upfront before you're building your website. And that's where, when it comes to a product, you need to have product images. And that's include taking some pictures of your product and include uh, editing them as well before you publish them on the website. Also, for each product you publish on your website, you're going to have to write a short description, have a clear identified price for this product, and if this product has certain variation like different colors or different sizes, you're going to have these on your website. Also, once you list your website on your website, there's going to be a checkout page for the website for the product. This would be something like a cart or a certain feature or section where let me know that this is the product that's been selected, this is how much I cannot charge for it, and that's where I put my credit card and personal information for shipping and delivery. These are the main elements of building a product or listing a product on your websites. And on some websites, you would see a thank you page or thank you section. After you submit your purchase, you'd have this pop up, or you would be directed to a new page where it would be a thank you page or upselling page for a different product. Now, similar approach goes when it comes to a services or service business, where as we're building a visual website or we are visual human beings, we care about images and we want to create images that represent the service that we do. So even if I'm listing a service on my websites, whether this is a consultation or medical appointment or any kind of service, whether it's online or physical service, would be so nice to provide some images of this service to show me the results or to create this imaginational flow of the service or the end goal of the service. And the service has to have a clear description, a clear pricing structure, whether it is per hour or per package, or whether this service is recurring or it's a one-time service. And if there's this service variation or service add-ons, for example, you do this, and if you do this and that, you would get a discount. And that's very important to be detailed and listed on the website in a way that make complete sense for the user who is reading the service to be able to understand what it's about. Also, for the service, there's going to be a checkout page to purchase the service and put the payment information or process the payment, and a thank you page or thank you section that would pop up after someone submit their payment successfully. These are the main three pages of the website. As I said, there's going to be the home page, the about page, and then a service or product page. Now, some websites would have a service and a product at the same time. So let's say there is a car wash company that do a service as a car wash, but also sell a car wash detergents. This would be a hybrid website, and usually these two preferably to be on two separate pages. You can put them on a same page, but prefer to have them as two separate pages to make it easier and simple for the user to understand your service and product once they land on your website. After you build these three pages, these main pages on the website, the next page you need to consider is the contact us page. And this page where would tell me how I can contact you. Usually this page has your location, your phone number, a small widget about the map where you are listed, uh, something like your email, your phone number, your working hours. Also would be good to have a contact form on the website page where I can contact you through the web portal, and FAQs. And I personally prefer or encourage you to put your FAQs after your main contact information. So start by putting your email, phone number, location, working hours, and then put the contact form afterward, and then put some FAQs below it. This is where you get your users when they reach out to you to read through your FAQ before actually sending you messages, and would make an easier and effortless experience for them. There's also other pages that you may consider to think through as you're thinking through your website process. And these website, there's also some other pages that you may consider as you're building your websites. And these pages are secondary pages, but also they are needed to be there on the website. Pages like the login page. If you have a membership portal, or as we mentioned in the previous example, you're building courses online, there's going to be a user portal, and this portal going to have a login page where people log in, put their login information. You can customize this page on the way you want, and you can simply have the email and first name, or email and password with your logo, or you can go creative and customize this page and a creative way to make it more appealing. Also, same thing apply for the cart page where you check out or process the product or service that you're purchasing. And this checkout page, usually the cart page, would show you the elements that you have in your cart before you finalize your purchase. Also, same things apply for the privacy policy and the terms and condition page. Usually, their text page, you define the terms and condition to interact with your business, and the privacy policy of how you are handling the customer information. These pages are not mainly visible on the website in the navigator, but you would use them in the forms, or you would use them in the footer, just to have them listed out there and to comply with the GDPR regulations. The final page that we're going to be talking about here is the blog page. Some websites would have a blog or would have some place where they share their publications. These blog pages usually are defined in two sections. The main blog page, which has the overview of the blogs, that's where you see all the blogs listed next to each other with the categories or the sections of the blogs if there are different topics. And you would have the main blog page, and these are like two separate pages linked to each other, that some of the websites they have them, and you can customize them the way you want. At this point, you can see that your website is start to coming together. We went through the main elements of the website. You start creating the visual representation of your website based on your inspiration, and you start putting together the main structure of the website, the page structure and the content structure, where you start putting all the pieces of the websites together. You can notice at this time you have some sections that are almost ready for the first draft and some other sections that you still have to do some work on. After you put all these elements, you collect all these missing information that you need and you put it all in one place. You gonna start think through some of the functionalities that you need and some of the features that would mainly play a core role on your websites. These functionalities mainly would come at a certain events, like creating a funnel page. And what I mean a funnel page, which it's gonna be a one dedicated page for a product or service that you're publishing. Why we would do a funnel page and the service is already listed on the website? That's a great question. The reason we do a funnel page is to eliminate any distractions. On the main website, when people go there and see your product or service, they would have the navigator and they may lose attention by seeing something else on your website that would distract them from the main product. So that's why we create a funnel page. And usually it's known as the funnel sales page that is purposed intentionally to selling a certain product or service. This funnel page would have more detailed information about your project, which has incentives or testimonials or any other upselling features that would help the user to make the sale. And usually it has a direct checkout on the page itself, so making the user experience completely effortless just to put their credit card information and hit buy. So that's the main purpose of the funnel page. And usually with the funnel page, there's going to be a thank you page that would come after this. And this thank you page usually would be a gratitude video or more explanation on your process for the product or explanation video on how to use the product after you purchase it. That would be a great use for a thank you page and upselling section. So you can try to upsell them another product that can go together with this product or another service or discount that would keep the people engaged with your main purchase that they made. So for example, if I'm selling someone a consulting service and would be helpful for them after they book the first consultation session to have to read through one of my books as like a mini book or lead magnet to give them better understanding about how I do work. There would be like an extra tips or tools to help them add more value to their business. That would be a great place to upsell them before they have to come to the call with me. And usually with the funnel pages, that's where we start thinking more about the customer journey, where we send a confirmation email. And this email would be thank you for purchasing this product or service. This is how to use it. If it is digital product, then you would receive it by email. And I personally love to follow up with people to keep engaging with them. So I build a follow-up email that I would send 3-4 days after the product has been delivered or the service has been completed to check in with the client how they are doing. If they get any feedback they would like to share or any thoughts. And this would usually be a genuine email, but prefer to be built automated so you don't forget to follow up with people. Another feature or functionality that I would encourage you to consider to build on your website is a webinar pages. If you're doing webinars, it's going to be similar to the funnel page, and that's where you do online webinars or pre-recorded webinars where people go to this page, you let them know about the date and time of the webinar, and as they sign up for this webinar they get redirected to a thank you page. In the thank you page here, we slightly add few things that are different from the funnel page when you're selling a product or service, where you try to make it easier for the person who signed up for the webinar to engage with you and make it more simple for them to attend the webinar. That's where I put like a button to add the webinar to your calendar, to, for example, give them the Zoom link and give them all the information they need as they signed up for this webinar, or share with them some tips what they need to do before they come to webinar, like be in a quiet place or be in a space where they can be focused. Also, you can have an upselling section or page that would come as people sign up to the webinar, and send them a confirmation email with all the details and a follow-up email for any feedback or testimonials. It would be good to have, as you're building your webinar page, to have a webinar replay page, and that where you put the replay of your webinar in the same, I would say, sections as you're building your website. And that's usually would be like a separate page. So your webinar would be like 3 pages: the main selling page of the webinar, the sales page of the webinar, the thank you page of the webinar with the upsell section, and then a replay page, which would be visible for limited time for people to watch the webinar. Now, if you're building courses, you're going to follow a similar approach where you're going to have the main course pages and this page where you have all the courses listed. It would be similar to the blog page that we discussed earlier, and that's mainly a page on your website where you list all your courses, kind of like a marketplace where you sell your courses, and courses would be selected in some sort of categories or certain topics, depend on how you want to lay them out. And as you think through this page for the courses, you're going to have to think through a course specific landing page, and that's where each course can have its own like landing page. On this landing page of the course, you're going to share the course title, the course description, the course enrollment fees, or how you're going to enroll to this form, and a checkout page to purchase this course if the course is paid. Also, you're going to have the course lesson page, and that's the actual pages inside the course where you have your images or your videos or your description of the course as you go through it. This also lead to having a membership portal, because if you're selling courses online or through your websites, then obviously you're going to have a membership portal. This portal where your user portal create their profile and interact with your website. That's where they can see their courses, they can see their profile settings, they upload their profile image, write short bio, identify their notification settings, see their subscription and invoices, and they can engage with the community if you have a community group on your websites. After we discuss the functionalities and the features that you can apply on your website, we're going to discuss some processes that you can apply to your website to optimize the user experience. Now, when it comes to processes, we're talking about automation emails, workflows, SEO, search engine optimizations, and metadata that would help your website be listed in Google and found through search engine and AI search. As an automation emails, would be nice to have an automation email when someone sign up to your website for any forms. For example, a welcome email when someone subscribed to your newsletter, or when someone purchased a product, would be nice to automatically have an invoice to send them the receipt of the website, and send them an email, as we discussed earlier, to collect feedback or ask them to review your product or service. Also, as part of the automation, would be nice to have a automation for appointments. When someone book appointment through the website, send them a confirmation email with the date and time of the appointment, with the link of the appointment if it is online, or the address if it is in person, and a reminder email with an option to reschedule it if they need to. Also, when someone submit the contact us form, would be nice to have an automation email to let them know that the request has been received. We're gonna get back to you shortly. These kind of emails let them user know that their request has been registered and they are able to hear back from you because you received the request. Also, this applies when you're creating workflows. And when I say workflows, means like the pipeline that you want your user to go through. For example, when a client registers to a webinar or an event on your website, the pipeline that they can enter is client registered to the webinar or the event. First thing, they would receive a confirmation email. Second thing, they would receive a reminder email 2 days or a couple of days before the event. And then they would receive a be directed to a thank you page and a follow-up email after this. This is the like the workflow of how you want to think through the customer journey. Again, when someone sign up for a service, they would receive a confirmation email for this service. They would receive a reminder email about this appointment or a service that they booked up. They also may receive an upselling email or upselling page that would redirect them to check something out, trying to sell them something up as they're coming to your service that they purchased, and a follow-up email to collect testimonials. Same thing apply if someone purchased a product as well. And lastly, I want to talk about the SEO and metadata. These are some elements of the pages like the page title, the page description, keywords, and meta tags. These are very important to help your website be found through AI search or through Google search. So make sure to name the pages correctly based on the keywords that you would use to search for your website. Name the images on your website and the right name, or use your brand name at the beginning of each image with a short description of the image, what is it about. And if the website page or the platform or the builder that you're using allow you to put keywords, make sure to fill out these keywords and meta tags that help your website get listed. And same thing applies for the Facebook pixel for Facebook ads.